everybody, Big Mess Tuckasegee Fly Shop, and today I'm going to go over how to tie a Frenchie. Je ne sais pas, merci beaucoup. There we go, that's all I know in French. So anyway, what I have here in my vise is I have a size 14 jigged hook with a slotted tungsten bead, and I think this one here is a 2.8 in copper. Just adjust the bead size to the type of hook you have. And it's okay sometimes to oversize that bead. If you're one who does not want to use split shot or tungsten putty, it's good to have the same pattern with a couple of different bead sizes so you have the ability to adjust the depth that you're trying to achieve with your drift. And that can be the difference between catching a 4 or 5 fish or maybe hooking up on 15 or 20 fish. And that's the beauty of tying flies. So I'm going to take some pink thread. This is some Simplify thread that we sell here at the shop. And I'm going to get a thread base started on this here real quick. And, oh, I don't have my granite base today. So usually I can do that pretty quick and I can just rip that. So let me just kind of get this laid down here right quick. And we're going to go to our first material, which is going to be a feather off of a pheasant. And this is a pheasant that was actually harvested here in North Carolina by either Bobby, one of the owners, or Mike Nervy when they went hunting. So here down toward the central part of the state. So I'm going to take some of the feathers off of this here, pull them out to the side, try to line them up as much as possible, and just pull. And you're going to get these little curly cues there like that. I like to go ahead and snip that off, probably off camera. And as far as the tail, I'm going to do this about the length of the shank, just real close. I'm okay with a little shorter tail. If you want to tie it in longer, I'll show you this. All you do is spin your thread counterclockwise, let your thread jump backwards, kind of in a somewhat of a pinch wrap. Do about 2 wraps, look at your tail, and then you can pull it into position where you want it. And I do that quite a bit on these tight flies like this. I like that, so I'm going to lock it down now. I'll go in front and behind, and it's locked down. And then I have to slow down to do this because I can go really quick. I bend this back because this is going to be our body. I do a thread wrap or 2 over top about where the hook point will be. And now I want to tie in some copper wire, which will be our ribbing reinforcement as well. So I really have to slow down because I can tie these really fast. So I'm going to take a little bit of copper wire. Wire comes in various sizes. Once again, if you think about it, if you're trying to adjust the weight when you're fishing, this is another way you can do that. I do recommend having some sacrificial scissors. I'm going to go way down into the bend of my hook, or scissors rather, and I'm going to break that off. But if you've got a pair of old scissors that have just kind of kicked the bucket per se, those are great for cutting wire when you get in close and stuff there. You don't want to ruin an expensive set of scissors. So I've got my wire. I'm going to lay that in over here on my side, and I'm actually going to stick that wire kind of up in that slot if I can. I'm having a little bit of difficulty here this morning. There we go. Now with that flat thread, I'm going to start making wraps. I've got a little bit of a ramp there, and I'm going to take my time with this. I'm really making nice flat thread wraps. You see how that thread is really flattened out when you spin it counterclockwise. And right here behind the bead, I'm going to come in and I'm going to put in a half hitch. Okay. Now I want to secure my thread over to the bobbin holder post, and I'm going to use the rotation feature of the Norvise, and we're going to wrap our body. I'm going to make sure that my hub nut, no pun intended, is a little tight so it's not going to free spin. I'm going to grab these fibers, which as we know are brittle, but they're fantastic fish catchers, and I'm just going to rotate coming up to the front. And we're going to get up here in this general area, and I'm going to bring my other hand in, bring my bobbin back over, and this is a little shorter fibers, it's a little tricky, and I'm going to capture that just like so. Okay, just going to capture that just like that. So we've got our fibers captured. I'm going to rotate this to me. If you look, you almost make some little legs on the underside if you really want to get freaky, like, okay. But we're actually going to trim that close. So if you're thinking of coming up with a new pattern, you know, think about little things you can do. Okay, beautiful. Half hitch, just like that. Now we have this body, and these fish really love these. So their teeth will start to cut into these fibers. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take this wire, same technique, but I'm counter wrapping. So you're going to see me crisscrossing over those pheasant tail fibers up to the front, just like that. I want to make a couple of wraps at the head. I'm going to bring my thread back over. I want to come around. I'm going to go around the wire, capture it, and tight. I'm going to do that again, just like that. Now, instead of using my scissors, I want to rotate this hopefully to where you can see it. I'm just going to helicopter it just like that and come off. That's the best way to get it nice and close. You can take your fingernail, kind of make sure everything's pushed down, because if you have a sharp edge on your wire, that will cut your thread. And there's nothing no worse when you get to this point where you have your thread get cut when you're almost done with this and you have to restart the thread. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to put another half hitch or two. Remember redundancy, okay? And we're almost done with this. The last thing we got to do is a little bit of a dubbing collar. I'm going to be using some pink today. This is some ice dub in UV pink. It's hairline. We do carry these items here at the shop. And it just takes just a little bit, folks. Just a smidge. Almost think what you probably need to do and cut that in half. Okay? Just a little. In this here, you see that? That may be just a little bit too much. We're going to start with this. I'm just going to traditionally do this little noodle on my thread here, okay? And you noticed I did not use wax. You can if you want to. Some people, they wet their fingers, which is not me. And I'm going to make just a wrap or two. That's more than enough. I probably could have went a little less, okay? Now, here's the skinny on this. When it comes to tying Frenchies, you can tie them in multiple color combinations, meaning that you can do them in a green. We get at times here where that the green collar will work a little bit better than the pink. Red, purple. If you want to do it in like a peacock ice dub color, that will suffice as well. So now we've got this here. I'm going to spin my thread clockwise. I'm going to kind of quarter it up just a little bit. I'm going to get in there. I'm really tugging against that bead, seating that in there. That is two whip finishes. I want to rotate it to where I can see it. I want to snip it. And that is your basic Frenchie. That's all there is to it. Very few materials. However, this fly will get you on the fish. Just your sizes, 12s, 14s, 16s, 18s. You can get down to a 20 if you want to. May sound like it's going to be difficult to tie, but actually just limit your materials and you'd be amazed at how easy those are to tie, but also how effective they can be. Silver bead, copper bead, black bead. Don't be afraid of a red bead as well if you need to. So if you folks have any questions, you can reach out to us at 828-488-3333, or you can stop by any one of our three shops, 3 Depot Street, Bryson City, North Carolina, 530 West Main Street, Sylva, North Carolina, and 110 Depot Street, Waynesville. If you stop by Waynesville, go up to Orchard Coffee and see our friend Cabell, who's over there in the corner. Say hi, Cabell. Hi, Cabell. We'll catch you on the next Fly Time video. Y'all take care.